Hi, guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We hope everyone is having a good week. And yeah, let's discuss. This is the team selection video for Game Week 10. So we have quite a few bits to discuss regarding, how our team's looking. We're also going to review Game Week 9 and talk about what happened in that one. And we'll also look ahead to Game Week 10, talk about transfers we're going to make, talk about captain picks, and talk about any, questions, dilemmas people do have regarding their team. So yeah, hope you're doing well, Jordan. Is everything good?
Yeah, everything's good. Thank you. Everything's all right. Hope everyone's all right as well who are watching this stream, obviously. And yeah, let's
Yep,
get to
let's
it.
get into it then. If you have just joined, guys, please, as always, don't forget to drop a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Let's bring up our teams from Game Week 9, Jordan, because Game Week 9 obviously was a very interesting one for both of us. So let's bring up our points and review what happened in that game week before we move on to Game Week 10. So here, guys, this is how my Game Week 9 went. For those that don't know, I did captain Salah instead of Haaland, which kind of came back to haunt me, I should say, but I will come on to that in a sec. So let's just go through my Game Week 9 team. So I had Danny Ward in goal, who got me 8 points, which I was very happy about. I don't know what the Ward owners were complaining about, because I play him and he gets a clean sheet. His first clean sheet of the season. He was a bit fortunate in that game, I think, because Nottingham Forest could have easily got a goal, but 8-pointer with the bonus, so I'll take that all day. Very happy. And I'm probably going to play Ward again this week against Bournemouth. So nice to see Ward get a clean sheet. And then back four, it wasn't great. Reece James 2 points, Cancelo 1 point. Trent didn't get anything because obviously they conceded 3 to Brighton. So blanks for my premium defenders. And then Fabian Schär, who I did get in because I couldn't afford Trippier, he did get me 6 points. He did get a clean sheet as well. So I was very happy about that. And he did get subbed off. So luckily he got the clean sheet points because Newcastle did concede late on in that game. Moving on to the midfield four. I did go double Leicester attack, which may have raised some eyebrows, but it did pay off. Madison did get a goal, 2 goals, I believe, and an assist. So Madison 18-point haul. I'm very, very happy about that. Kind of saved my game week. And then Barnes also got a goal as well, which I was very happy to see because he was the punt I took this week as a Game Week 9 wildcarder. I took a punt on Madison. Sorry, I took a punt on Barnes. And because I knew he's got a good fixture against Nottingham Forest, I thought, you know what, may as well go for it. And then, so I brought Barnes in, and luckily for me, he did manage to get a goal. So I was very happy about that. But moving on to things that didn't pay off was captaining Mo Salah. I was one of those unfortunate few who did captain Mo Salah against Brighton, and where he did only get an assist. So he only got me 10 points, Mo Salah, and yeah, as you guys can see, it hurt a lot. He hurt the rank because obviously Haaland goes ahead and scores a hat trick and gets 2 assists in a monster performance in the Manchester derby against Man United. So yeah, that was one that went against me. Zaha did blank as well, which wasn't, I didn't expect much from him. He did have a tough game against Chelsea, but now I think I bought him in for game week 10 onwards. So I'm happy to see Zaha for this game week coming up. And then up front, as you guys know, Haaland had a masterclass hat trick, 2 assists, and he ran the show. And yeah, I should have captained Haaland. I know people will say, hindsight, etc. You should have gone Haaland, but I thought Salah against Brighton at home. Liverpool did score 3 goals, but again, Salah no goal there. So I've learned my lesson. You will see who I'm going to captain in game week 10, and it's not going to be Salah. But yeah, so. And also Mitrovic, as you see, 0 points. He did get injured, I believe, early on, and he had to come off after like 30 minutes. So unfortunately, he didn't get me any points. And then on the bench, Guaita, Greenwood, Andreas Gurhi, all blank, pretty much. Now, as you guys know, I did a knee-jerk reaction stream on Sunday. And after Sunday, my rank was actually 2.4 million. I know rank's not that important as of this stage still. So my rank was 2.4 million after the hat-trick Haaland scored. But then after Leicester played, Madison, Barnes, and Ward getting me, very nice returns, my rank did half. So I'm back in the top 1 million now, just because of that Leicester game, which shows that you wouldn't be worrying too much about rank because a lot of the players are still, bunched together by a point or so. So I wouldn't be too much looking at the ranks, even though we're getting game week 9 right now. But yeah, 985k is the current rank. Total score for game week 9 was also 78 points, which, considering how I didn't captain Haaland, I will take that all day long. I only got a small red arrow by a few thousand places, so it could have been a lot worse, especially if Madison, Barnes, and Ward didn't do what they did. I could have got a big red arrow, but luckily I was saved slightly by those Leicester guys. So yeah, that is a team, guys. 78 points all out. And yeah, that is a team. Let's move on to your team, Jordan. Just quickly talk us through how you done in game week 9. I'll bring your team up right now.
Okay, so we'll start off with Raya, who was against Bournemouth at the weekend, and he got 6 points for the clean sheet that ended up as a 0-0. It was a very boring game, so yeah, there's not much to say about that match. It was utterly watching like paint dry. We'll move on to the back three. We've got Trippier, who got the 7 points. He did get a bonus 1 point and the clean sheet. Luckily, before Newcastle conceded, he was subbed off, so he kept the clean sheet there, so that was nice. Not much from the other defenders though. Cancelo 1 point and Perisic with 1 point as well. So not much else from the back line there apart from Trippier. We'll move on to the midfield. Zaha, expected. He had Chelsea. It was a tough fixture, and it wasn't a lot to expect from Zaha to get anything from that game. So yeah, he got 2 points only, but that difficult fixture's out the way now, and he's got some nice easy ones coming up. So I imagine he will get returns. The next midfielder is Martinelli, and he managed to clench an assist in the game that Arsenal played. I can't remember who Arsenal did play, but
Spurs.
Yeah, it was a sorry.
Spurs, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, Spurs. It was a nice return from that hard fixture that Martinelli had. So I know a lot of people still have Martinelli, and a lot of people were scared what he would do in that game. But yeah, he got 4 points in that game. He did get a yellow card, so he had a point taken off. But it was nice to see some sort of return from Martinelli in that game, nonetheless. And a bit more success in the midfield from James Madison. I think this was highly expected of him, as his performance previously in the match they had before against Spurs, he did score in that game. So it was without a doubt that he was going to score against Nottingham Forest, and it was 2 goals and 1 assist, which led to 18 points for Madison. So he was a great captaincy differential pick if you did go for him in the end. I was contemplating it, but I did go other places with that. But yeah, it's a nice haul for Madison there to start off with obviously a newly transferred in player for my team. And my final midfielder, who was my captaincy pick, which was Salah. A disappointing 10-pointer from Salah, only getting the assist in that game against Brighton, which did lead to 3-3 in the end. And still, Salah did not score in that game, despite Liverpool scoring 3 goals. So a bit of a disappointment, but yeah, Liverpool still have a lot of work to do, and I don't think Salah will be a captaincy pick anytime soon until Liverpool improve. So that's my midfield out of the way. We'll move on to the front three now. So we have Mitrovic, which was a very disappointing and unfortunate occurrence for him, because he did get injured with a foot injury, and he did come off the pitch during the first half of the game and did not get any points, so he got 0. And we're obviously still waiting to see what the severity of his injury is. So yeah, it's uncertainty what's happening with Mitrovic at the moment. We'll move on to Haaland, who got the massive haul, obviously the hat-trick and the assist to go with it as well. And he got a massive 23-point haul, which would have been nice if it was a captaincy pick, but unfortunately not. But it's fortunate to have him anyway in your team, as it would be even more punishing without him. And finally, move on to the final forward, and that was Ivan Toney, who got only the 1 point. So he only got a yellow card in that game, which obviously took 1 point away from him. And it was a very, very the environment was all sucked out of that game. There was nothing doing against Bournemouth. I'm quite surprised Brentford didn't go all out in that game. But yeah, I do hope for Tony to recover and fight back with another goal. So in his next fixtures that he has coming up, and I'll just go through my team bench quickly. So Ward got 8 points. Nico Williams got -1. Fofana and Andreas got 2 points each. So other than Ward, it was only the wrong choice of my goalkeeper by 2 points. So I'm not too bothered about that at all. And my overall rank did drop a little bit. I was at 700k, but I did go down to 1.2 million, which isn't too bad despite how the week went. Before, obviously, Leicester hoarding, it would have been much worse if Madison didn't get any returns. So other than that, 1.2 million is not so bad. It is salvageable still. And my total points is 73, but I did take a -4. So I do have 69 points after the -4. So it wasn't a bad week entirely, but it could have been better if obviously Haaland was the captaincy pick.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Fair enough. So, similar scores, sort of, so yeah, it wasn't a great week. Obviously, we both were Salah captainers and that didn't pay off. So I think that did kind of hurt the rank slightly a bit more, but it is what it is. We went Salah. We both thought Salah should have got a goal or two, even against Brighton. On paper, it looked like it was a good move. Haaland had United, which was seen as a bit of a tough game after Man United's improved form. So maybe on another day, we don't know. But yeah, let's see what we are going to do for Game Week 10. But before we start, got some comments. FPL Penguins in the chat. Shout out to him. We've got FPL Boo Boo. Hi, says hi, Joe as well. Well, shout out to you boys or ladies if it is. But yeah, thank you guys. I'm gonna come back to this question after actually near the end. But yeah, guys, let's get into it now. So that's Game Week 9 out the way. So that's how we did. Now let's talk about Game Week 10, how our teams look, and also what transfers we are planning to make. So I'm gonna bring up my team first. So this is my bus team for Game Week 10. This is what I look like at the moment with no transfers made. So in goal, I've decided to actually play Danny Ward again. He's got a clean sheet now, and he's got another decent fixture against Bournemouth. And Bournemouth don't really like attacking much. So I'm going to give Danny Ward another chance for me to hopefully get another clean sheet, because I could play Guaita on the bench, who's got Leeds. But after that clean sheet, I think I'm going to play the the Leicester goalie. So yeah, he's in. I've gone with the back four I've got Shah, who's got Brentford. I've got James, who's got Wolves. Cancelo, who's got Southampton, which I think is a good fixture for him. And Trent, who does worry me at the moment. He's got Arsenal away, which is a tough game for Trent. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with my back line. Obviously, I'd rather have Trippier than Shah, but I've got some Newcastle coverage in case they do get a clean sheet. I think James got a very good fixture. James is coming off the back of a goal and an assist in the Champions League. Cancelo coming off the back of an assist and a clean sheet. Trent also coming off the back of a goal and then a clean sheet as well in the Champions League. So the three premium defenders you see on the screen have actually had really good matches in the Champions League, and hopefully they can translate that in the league. But yeah, so the back four looks pretty good. I'm just not so confident on Trent, if I'm being honest. I do believe Liverpool will concede in that one, so I don't expect a clean sheet from Trent in that one. And moving on to the midfield four, I've got my Leicester double up of Barnes and Madison, who do have a good fixture away to Bournemouth. I am expecting some nice returns from both of them again. Hopefully they can deliver again as they did in Game Week 9. And yeah, pretty happy to keep both. And I think they've got, potential for good points. Then moving on, I've got Salah and Zaha to complete the midfield. Salah has another tough game against Arsenal. We will come on to my transfer plans, but I have actually considered at this moment in time even taking Salah out because he's got 2 tough games. But yeah, he's in there for now. And I think, Liverpool haven't been great. Arsenal are on fire at the moment. So it looks like, is Salah going to get anything in that game? I'm not sure he could. Obviously, I don't ever rule it out, but they've not been performing. So yeah. And then Zaha, I think he's got a very good fixture at home to Leeds. And I'm quite happy to own Zaha this week because I think this is the time where I wildcarded to bring him in for Game Week 10 when he's got a nice fixture against Leeds. Then up top is where it gets a bit interesting because I've got Mitrovic. So as we've mentioned, guys, Mitrovic is actually injured. as of now, he's flagged. He's got a foot injury. So if it's kind of changing my transfer plans, because if I knew Mitrovic was going to stay fit and he was going to play, then I definitely roll a transfer. Now, my plans will come down to whether Mitrovic is fit or not. So if I find out Mitrovic is definitely missing West Ham's game, I think I'm going to have to take him out. But as of now, we will come into my transfer plans. I am quite happy to roll the transfer move. So that's where I'm at with Mitrovic. And then up front, I've got Haaland. He's my captain this week. I'm not going anywhere else. I'm not going Salah or anything like that. Haaland is my captain. Southampton at home. Haaland's just a machine right now. Another 2 goals yesterday, I believe, against I forgot who they played, but in the Champions League, Haaland got 2 goals. He played 45 minutes. He was subbed off to get rested, and he's going to be fit for that Southampton game. And it's scary what he could do against them. So he's definitely my captain, and it's a great fixture for him as well at home. And then obviously on the bench, I've got Guaita, Andreas, Gurhi, and Greenwood. I have contemplated playing Andreas or Gurhi and just benching Mitrovic if he's not fit, but I'm not sure if I am going to do that. But so, for example, if Mitrovic does stay fit, I definitely keep him. I'm not transferring him out, but if he does, I do want to probably take him out. So as you can see, I've only got 0.2 million in the bank as well, so not much money around to play around with. I've got 1 free transfer. Now, initially, I have contemplated Mitrovic down to potentially a Solanke, but I don't know if I'm going to do that, or I might just play Andreas. So as of now, I haven't actually got a transfer plan in mind. So my current plan is literally to roll the move and hope Mitrovic is fit. Because we haven't actually heard any news on Mitrovic so far. So I'm hoping by tomorrow we may hear something. I'm not sure we're going to get anything, but that is hopefully what we get. But yeah, that's the current plans, guys, to roll the transfer and deal with Mitrovic. I have actually tinkered with the idea of removing Salah, but maybe down to all the way down to Foden or someone like that. But I'm not sure I'm going to end up doing it. I think I'm just going to keep Salah now because, it just doesn't make sense for me to get rid of him straight after I wildcarded him in. And I'm hoping that he can repay my faith in him. But, 2 tough games for Liverpool coming up against Arsenal and City where I don't expect much from them, especially Trent. I think Trent worries me more than Salah in this moment in time because I know Liverpool can still get goals here and there, but it's the clean sheets that for Trent might be a bit difficult. So that is where I'm at, guys. My current plan is to roll the transfer unless we hear any definite news regarding Mitrovic. So yeah, that is the plans. Let's move on to your team now, Jordan, and see how you're lining up for Game Week 10 and what your plans are and and who you're going for captain. But there you go.
Okay, so let me start off with the goalkeeper. So Raya has Newcastle away, and you would say that's a pretty tricky fixture for Brentford. I don't expect Raya to keep a clean sheet in that game.
Have you not considered playing Ward? I've just seen you got Ward on the bench.
I know it's Bournemouth away for Ward, but even after that clean sheet Ward have, I don't.
You're not keen?
No, I'm not keen on it. I feel like he will concede in that game.
Now, fair enough. I mean, I'm playing Ward for sure.
Yeah. But that might change. Come close to the time. But for now, it's Raya in goal. He's got Newcastle away, which is a very tricky fixture, I'll say, especially not at home either. But maybe Raya can stop Newcastle if he has a good game. But we'll see what happens near the time, what I do with my goalkeeper. So we're moving on to the defence, and I am playing a back 3. And I got Trippier, who's got Brentford at home. So it is a bit of a retrospective because Raya and Trippier are playing each other. So there's a bit of a clash there. But I'm assuming one of them will come on top of this game. Or if not, the worst case is they both concede and there's no clean sheet for either of them. But we'll see in that game how it does fold. Cancelo, who's got Southampton home, it's a nice fixture. I expect a clean sheet from Man City in that game. It's a very comfortable one, I'd say, despite conceding in the last game 3 goals against Man United. But they did let the trigger off a bit in that game. But I think in this game against Southampton, there will be wherein to go, and the defense will be solid throughout the game. And my final defender is Perisic. I never thought I'd still have him up to this point, but because of plans and different changes to the team, he is still here, and he has Brighton away, which I'm not too confident about, especially the way Brighton played against Liverpool in the last game. So maybe Perisic comes out my team. Who knows? We'll talk about that in a few moments after I've gone through the rest of my team. But yeah, Perisic is my third defender. So the midfield is a bit congested at the moment. We'll start off with Zaha, who has a very nice fixture compared to his last one, which is Leeds at home. So with obviously Zaha, he is a hot and cold player who does have his moments of blanks, but then he has his moments of absolute madness with potential either a goal from open play or a penalty that's rewarded to Crystal Palace because he is the penalty taker. It is a bit uncertainty. Sometimes he can lose his temper and obviously get sent off or get a yellow card, but hopefully he is calm and collective in that home fixture as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward and excited to see what Zaha can do in that fixture. My next player in my midfield is Martinelli, who has Liverpool at home. This is obviously a tricky fixture for Arsenal, even though they've been really good this season so far. They are actually playing tonight as well, so that is a bit of an interesting thing who plays in tonight's game and who doesn't. Depend on who gets rested will be interesting. But I still have Martinelli up to this point, and I think I still will keep him, even though he blanked in game week 12, just because after that the Arsenal fixtures become really, really good, and there is a lot of money invested in Martinelli, especially if you bought him from when he was 6.5 million, because he is currently 6.9, I believe. And there's a lot of money you can gain from him, but it's a lot of money you can lose from him if you want to buy him back in after game week 12 blank.
Yeah, he also starts tonight as well in the Europa League. He's starting on the left side of the attack.
There you go. Hopefully he has a good game tonight. And our next midfielder is James Madison, who has a very nice fixture again, and that is Bournemouth away. He could potentially be another captaincy pick again this week if people dare go against Haaland. But he is my vice captaincy pick. There's no hesitation in picking him, even though he has a really nice fixture. I do think he'll get another goal in the Bournemouth game, without a doubt. The form he's on at the moment, and Leicester have looked pretty much better now. They look more settled and comfortable in open play, in attack and defense. But yeah, I'm glad to have Madison. I'm glad I brought him in early as well. My next midfielder is Salah, who I brought in obviously in game week 9, and he has Arsenal away, which does clash with Martinelli as they do play each other. It will be interesting how many points Salah does get in that fixture, because he did score in international football and obviously in Champions League as well, which was a good sign to see that he is scoring. It's just he needs to score in Premier League now. But I am hoping, now that I brought him in, I might as well keep him now, because there'll be a waste to sell him, especially when I took a -4 to bring Salah in. So I just think I'll probably just play him for Arsenal away and see what he can do in that game. If he doesn't do anything, it's not a massive issue. I mean, it's probably becomes even better if his ownership keeps dropping, because it become more of a differential, especially when his form eventually changes back into good.
Yeah, let's quickly. I want to quickly just chat very quickly about Salah, because the way we see it is, if you have Salah, it might make sense to hold on to him, because obviously we both have Salah. Now, a lot of people will probably be thinking, do I need to bring Salah in? Definitely no. I think people that don't own Salah, they're in a luxury position of, looking ahead and seeing, let's wait and see what Salah does against Arsenal. Let's wait and see what Salah does against Man City, and then look to potentially bring him in game week 12 if he performs. But yeah, people without Salah, I think they're in a luxury position to just wait and see how he does. But for us, I think it probably does make sense to just keep him at this stage. Would you say?
Yeah, that's pretty much that's pretty much what people should really be doing. If you do have Salah, then obviously you hold on to him and see what he does. But if you don't even really contemplate it, just because of the form Liverpool's on at the moment. So we move on to the final midfielder, which may seem to some people a bit weird to have in the starting 11, but it is Andreas, who has West Ham away. With Mitrovic injured and not knowing what will happen, it has changed, obviously, my plans for my team. But Andreas at the moment is my fifth midfielder. And for the West Ham away game, it's uncertain what will happen. I think he'll just get 2 points in that game. Without Mitrovic, if he isn't playing, he might just blank, I think. I don't think he'll get anything in that game, or because Mitrovic is the goal scorer and Andreas is just the feeder of the team. But we'll see what happens. You never know. We'll move on to the front two, which this might seem pretty obvious to many people, but Haaland, who's got Southampton at home, and he is my captain for this week, which is not changing in the slightest. I'm 100% certain that is sticking there.
Not going Salah, are you?
No, not a 0.1% chance am I thinking to change that to Salah, just because of the way Haaland's form is at the moment, especially last night when he was playing in Copenhagen, scoring 2 goals and then getting subbed off early as well. He is raring to go and rested for this Southampton at home fixture at the weekend. So yeah, he's an obvious captain. I think everyone's pretty much going for him. If you're not, then you're playing a very dangerous and risky game, which I'll be very interested to know who does go against Salah in game week 10.
You're Haaland.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Haaland game week 10.
Okay. So let's get your rest of your team and then your transfer plans, please.
Yeah. So we've got Tony, who's my final forward, who's got Newcastle away. I'm sure he can bounce back from his back-to-back blanks that he's had. And yeah, it's away fixture, so it's difficult for Brentford. But they are an aggressive attacking team. That I've seen them, but they haven't shown it in the last 2 game weeks. So I'm hoping in that fixture he will shine out more. So that is my starting 11 as it stands at the moment. That might obviously change, but I'll talk about my bench now. So Ward has obviously got Bournemouth away on the bench. That might change with Raya, who it'll come close to the time what happens with that. Nico Williams has got Aston Villa at home, which I don't think I'll play Nico Williams, even though Aston Villa haven't been the greatest this season. And this is the injury list. So Fofana got injured last night. After he scored as well, he came off the pitch with a leg injury, which seems to be very serious.
Yeah, he left on crutches, and the line is that he's going to miss at least 4 weeks. So looks like he's out for a while.
Yeah, which is a bit of annoying because obviously he's red flagged, so he isn't going to play anytime soon. So he's not playing against Wolves at home as it stands. And my next bench player is obviously Mitrovic, who's got West Ham away, which we still don't know what the situation is with Mitrovic. We don't know if he is fit enough for that game or not, how long it is, how the severity of his injury. If he is out for just the West Ham away game, I don't mind keeping him in my team because he does have Bournemouth at home next, which is a nice fixture to come back to. We just don't know what's happening with Mitrovic, and if the case he is out for just one game, I'm just going to keep him. But if he's out for a long term, like 3 or 4 weeks, then I might take him out and possibly swap him for a cheaper, obviously forward like Daka for Leicester, for example, because I do know Vardy and Daka do rotate a lot, but it would be a nice pick to go for, especially with Leicester's fixtures at the moment. It would be a very nice pick and cheaper option too at 5.7 million. But at the moment, transfer wise, I think I'm going to roll for the moment. I just need more thinking time to decide what I'm actually going to do, because with that Fofana injury coming in the other day, it has changed my ideas and plans of my team. But at the moment, it is probably going to be a role for me for the transfer into game week 10. I do have 0.7 mil in the bank, so there is some spare money if I do want to make a transfer.
Okay.
But for the moment, yeah, it is rolling for me.
Okay. Well, there you go. Those are our transfer plans, guys. Do let us know what you think of both our teams in the comments below. And also, if you are just joining, please do drop a like. As always, we appreciate it. We got SGT Sonny. Do I take out Tony and get Solanke as a bench and play 3-5-2 with Bowen, Madison, Zaha, Barnes, and Martinelli, and Jesus Haaland up front? I wouldn't bring in Solanke to put him on the bench. There's just too much money on the bench. If I was going to get rid of him, if I was going to get rid of Tony, I'll just probably downgrade the spot completely to a 4.3 million midfielder personally. Sorry, 4.3 million forward. I'll just get like Greenwood in, for example, and then just kill that spot off. Because if you have Solanke, I mean, it's quite a bit of money on the bench, I guess, personally. It depends on your plans as well in game week 12, because with the current team, you've got Jesus, you've got Martinelli, you've got Haaland. I'm assuming you have Cancelo as well. You've got a lot of blanks in there for game week 12. So maybe look to shift out Jesus and Martinelli because they do blank in 12. Maybe shift one of them out, because otherwise you can have a bit of a headache in game week 12 unless you take hits. Adam says, hey guys, wish I didn't have Tony in my team. I would rather than gone Trippier and kept Martinelli. Fair enough. Obviously, you own Tony and Martinelli, Jordan. But
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt Tony too much, Adam. I know he has blanked back to back, but he will get back to goal scoring ways, and he's a player you can hold up to game week 16 when the World Cup happens too. So with the fixtures.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Tony's fixtures. So Tony has Newcastle away next. Then he's got Brighton at home. Okay, Chelsea in game week 12 looks quite tough, but then he's got Villa, Wolves, Nottingham Forest. I think game week 13 is where it swings a bit for Brentford. Villa, Wolves, and Nottingham. So you probably want to keep him for at least game week 13. But the next three, Newcastle, Brighton, Chelsea, not the greatest. But we've seen with Tony, he can get goals in those games and then blank in the easier ones. Like he's a bit strange like that. So yeah, we'll have to see. I still think Tony's a good pick personally. And he also says, I'm glad I didn't do Augustinson to Fofana early. Yeah, well, Fofana now injured. So unfortunate. Yeah. But yeah, I was going to actually go with Fofana on my wildcard team, but I was worried that he wouldn't be a first team starter. But he looks like he got his spot back and he is becoming a first team player, but now he's got injured. So it makes it a bit interesting to see what happens with Chelsea's defense. But yeah, if anyone's got any more questions regarding their teams or any dilemmas they have, do drop it in the comments below. I will try our best to answer them. And then, yeah. But any other discussion points? Let's quickly talk about strikers, Jordan, because a lot of people got Mitrovic and a lot of people have Isak and a lot of people have Haaland. So I've seen a lot of people with those three strikers. So would you take out Isak? Obviously, if you had him, I personally would, because he is injured now. So I think if you have Isak, you probably get rid. Mitrovic is an interesting one because people are saying, what strikers should we bring in? Now, I'm looking at the striker options that we have available to us. Let's say we did take Mitrovic out. Is there any strikers that you like the look of for the next couple game weeks?
There is Patson Daka, but the only problem with Patson Daka is his rotation with Vardy, because when obviously Vardy plays a game like he did just now, he played 62 minutes in the Nottingham Forest game, it does potentially mean Daka will start in the next game, and obviously Vardy rests in game week 10. But it's the rotation which is the risky bit. But if it could pay off against Bournemouth away, it's a good fixture for Daka.
Yeah, Daka could be good. I think he's the one that we mentioned a bit. You know, Aubameyang. Have you thought about Aubameyang? I know he scored 2 goals as well now and 2 for Chelsea. He's a bit pricey at 9 million, but he's got decent fixtures as well. Chelsea have Wolves next at home. Then they've got Villa. Then they've got Brentford. Have you considered Aubameyang at 9 million or? You think he's a good option?
I think he's too much money. I think if he's a little bit cheaper, he could be a good option to go for, especially with Chelsea fixtures are quite good, and it would be nice to have a Chelsea attacker like Aubameyang. But I'm not too convinced on Chelsea when they play in the Premier League in terms of when attackers do play. It's not certain who's going to score in that game. It's more likely that maybe Reece James or someone like that will score rather than an actual attacker like Mason Mount or Kai Havertz or Aubameyang. They're sort of lacking the prowess to finish off chances, which they have good chances, but they just can't finish them off.
Fair enough. On the topic of strikers, Ollie Watkins is another one I have to mention. So, have you considered Ollie Watkins potentially at 7.2 million? He's got a lovely fixture against Nottingham Forest. So, Villa play Nottingham in game week 10. Then they've got Chelsea. Then they're Fulham in game week 12, and then Brentford in game week 13. So, Aston Villa's fixtures for the next 4, barring that Chelsea game, looks pretty good. Watkins, we know he has the potential to sometimes chip in with the goals. But have you considered Watkins? Decent fixtures, Nottingham, as I mentioned, in game week 10.
Yeah, Watkins is a nice pick because Aston Villa do have good fixtures, as we've spoken just now about, which I kind of like to look at. And Watkins is quite nailed as well to play in games now. Gerrard seems to start him in every game. And he has looked good in terms of form. Like, I know he hasn't scored many goals so far this season, but he has had that nice attacking threat against teams, which is good to see from him because he was good last season too. And I do imagine the goals will start coming from Ollie Watkins, and especially with Nottingham Forest fixture, which it seems to be a team to obviously target as well because Nottingham Forest do concede a lot of goals. He would be a good pick for the lineup for game 10. So I would like.
I think he is up there definitely if you are looking for a striker. Also, another striker whose ownership is only 1.3% currently is Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson is back from injury. He did score again on the weekend, I believe. So he did score against Fulham. He got a 6-pointer. So Callum Wilson has Brentford next, which I think is a good fixture for Callum Wilson and Newcastle. Then he's got Man United. Then he's got Everton. Then he's got Spurs. So Callum Wilson's another one that I've personally considered. I think he's a good option to have if you are looking for a striker replacement for Mitrovic or Isak. What do you make of Callum Wilson and Newcastle with Brentford at home next?
Yeah, I do like Callum Wilson. I mean, it's unfortunate that he's a injury-prone player. Otherwise, he would be without a doubt, everyone's pick to go for at this current stage, especially with the fixture that they have against Brentford. And he's on penalties too, so it's a bit of a bonus there with him being a great striker for Newcastle. And we've seen Newcastle improve in terms of the structure of the team and the new transfers that they made. And Callum Wilson always looks good in matches. There's never a match where he's been really poor. It's just a matter of how long does he stay fit for until he gets injured again.
Yeah, that is the worry. Yeah. I mean, I love Callum Wilson as a pick, but, there is that always back of your head that, he will play one and he will miss another 2. But also, talking about strikers as we are on the subject, Scamacca at West Ham is another one that I don't know if you've considered. Scamacca's ownership is only 0.7%, so he's a super differential. He did score in game week 9 against Wolves in a 2-0 win. He did end the game with 8 points. He got 2 bonus points as well. So Scamacca has Fulham at home next. So you could go for Scamacca at 6.7 million, similar price to Mitrovic. I really like his fixture. So Fulham at home and then Southampton away in game week 11. 12 is quite tough. They got Liverpool away, but then after that, they got Bournemouth. I think Scamacca could be a decent punt at the differential. I know we do like talking about differential sometimes on this stream on our channel, but keep an eye on Scamacca for the next 3 or 4 weeks. I think he could do decent. So there's one to watch out on if you are feeling a bit punty. He does start, and he has the potential to, get returns with West Ham's nice fixture run. So yeah, you consider Scamacca, Jordan, or?
With Scamacca, I'm a bit worried about again, rotation between him and Antonio. It all depends. But when Scamacca does play, he does look really good in matches, though. I do like the thought of having a West Ham attacker like him, especially with his new transfer as well to West Ham. He has looked really good. Other than obviously Bowen in the team, him and Scamacca together look like a nice duo in the West Ham team, and it's a growing relationship between the two, which will improve. It's like seeing Ben Rama and Bowen in last season. I do feel like it will be similar to that with Scamacca and Bowen once they settle together.
Fair enough. Also, the other striker I want to mention, if you want to go cheaper, guys, 6.5 million is another differential, 1.3% owned, and that is Danny Welbeck. Now, Danny Welbeck's an interesting player because he did get the assist against Liverpool, but he could have easily scored in that game as well. Maybe he should have scored against Liverpool, but Danny Welbeck at 6.5, I mean, most people probably haven't considered it, but just letting you know their fixtures. I mean, they've got Spurs at home, which in game week 10, which could be a bit of a tough game for them. Then they've got, Brighton. Then they've got Nottingham Forest. So what do you think of Danny Welbeck, Jordan, and Brighton? Like, have you considered someone like that if you want to go cheap, or are you not a fan of Welbeck or what's your thoughts?
Not. It's not like I'm not a fan of Welbeck. It's just that when he does play football, when he has chances, he doesn't really finish them off, and that's the annoying thing. If I did consider bringing Welbeck in, and he does well in the game, but doesn't score and just misses from obviously having chances, a lot of chances, then I'd feel kind of annoyed at him, even though he is a cheap option and a great pick for Brighton with their new manager as well, being very well established with drawing against Liverpool in the first game. And with Welbeck only getting that assist only was a bit underwhelming despite the way he was playing in that game. I just think there might be better options to go for that can finish and are going to put the ball behind the net.
Yeah, fair enough. So that is all the strikers kind of out the way. So we've discussed Aubameyang potentially. We've discussed Tony, Watkins, Wilson, Scamacca. We've talked about Scamacca. You've spoken about Daka quite a bit as well. Solanke is the other one. Obviously, I've been mentioning Solanke for what it feels like for weeks. So yeah, it's interesting with the striker market right now. A week ago we were like, we need strikers. We want 3 up top. That's the way to go. But now everyone wants to get rid of the strikers and get 8 million midfielders in because last week 8 million midfielders were dead. This week 8 million midfielders is the way to go with the Foden, Bowen all returning to form. So yeah, it's interesting. That's how quickly FPL does change. So yeah, those are our thoughts, guys, on the strikers. And midfielders, obviously, 8 million midfielders is very popular as well right now. We're not really spoke too much about midfielders, but it's looking good for Foden. If you do own Foden, who's got a great fixture against Southampton, and also Bowen looks like he's back on a bit of form, and he's got good fixtures coming up as well. So it looks like we're back, maybe potentially big in midfield. But yeah, I'm going to read some comments out. Bailey Worth playing against Forest could be, even though I'm not a fan of playing Bailey, but I think could be decent actually because Forest, we know how they've struggled. What to do with Cancelo? Keep him for one more game week. Upgrade to Trent. Does he mean Trent by that? Downgrade to Konza or Mings or Zamora. I'd definitely keep Cancelo for another week. Southampton at home. You can't sell him before Southampton. Surely not. You've got to keep him. But also, guys, if you are joining the stream, as always, please don't forget to like the stream. It really helps our channel out and helps our videos be shown more frequently on YouTube. So if you can, please drop a like. And also, if you haven't already, do subscribe to the FPL Duo YouTube channel. Is Mitrovic out for 2 weeks? I'm not sure. I think we've not heard anything concrete. Jordan, Wilson as a replacement for Mitrovic?
Yeah, if in the case that Mitrovic is out for a couple of weeks, then Wilson as a replacement is very good. He has nice fixtures and overall good player for Newcastle. He's on penalties.
I got Barnesy here who says, hola.
Hey,
Shout out to
Bonzi.
Barnsley. Ain't seen you in a while. This is new overlay. Yep, we're upgrading. Always trying to improve our content. Hamza say play Tony or Almiron. Tony.
I'll probably play Tony, just because if Brentford get a penalty, then Tony's going to take it, which is a little upper hand over Almiron.
Elliot's joined the stream. Hey guys, I'm late. I was watching Man United. Man United end up winning because half time was 1-0, so I've not actually checked.
Yeah, I was happy to see they won 3-2, which I'm not sure how.
Oh, interesting. It's a lot. Big turnaround. Marcus Rashford and Martial coming off the bench, I guess, to get the goals, which leads on to that question: Martial potentially as an option. I'm not keen on it. If I'm not being honest, I'm not keen on United assets. I've not considered any Man United players. Have you, Jordan?
No, after that Man City game, no, not at all. No player on that team would I recommend at all. Zero.
It could be worth taking a punt, but for us, or for me anyway, I'm still a bit cautious on Man United, and I think Man United's fixtures aren't great either. They've got, it gets a bit tough for them. So yeah, not for me. Adam says, I've just bought in Skamaka just now. You're right, guys. He's the one, and I already have 3 injured players, so I need a ready-made striker up top. Yeah, he could be decent. Skamaka, as we mentioned, he's a bit of a differential, so it could work out. He could go the other way as well, but it's not much right now, and he's quite cheap. And I think West Ham's fixtures, if you want cover for West Ham, then I think he could be a decent move. I think it is still too early bringing Martial yet. I'd echo the same thoughts. We've got Mohammed in the chat. Jordan, you want to take his comment and answer that as well and give your thoughts on that?
Haaland permanent captain. It's such a tricky one for some of us chasing ranks. We can't go against him. Yeah, we did discuss this after the summary of Gameweek 9 in the knee jerk. We're talking about Haaland's hat trick and assist that he got in that game, because obviously we both went against Haaland and went captain Salah instead, which didn't pay off at all. And it seems like after that game, seeing Haaland bag another hat trick, which was a record for the Premier League as well that he broke, it seems like Haaland is turning out to be a permanent captain for the time being, unless something happens to Haaland where his form just drops or he gets injured. Yeah. I don't see another option for captaincy at this moment in time. I think Haaland, every game now, as far as I can see, he'll always be a captain, even for the Liverpool game.
He does blank, obviously, in Game 12, so it will give us a chance to go a bit different then, but then most of us will probably go Salah in that one, or maybe you want to go different. So if you look at Haaland's fixtures, yeah, you're probably going to captain him in every week until the World Cup, apart from the week he blanks. You probably captain him against Liverpool as well, away to Liverpool. That's how good he is at the moment. Barnesy says, Sergio Gomez thoughts, Kyle Walker out until World Cup. I mean, yeah, he did play. Gomez, the new signing for Man City, the left back. He did play on the Champions League, but I will still be cautious because Ake can play left back. Nathan Ake, we've done a job at left back. Also, we know Laporte, I believe, is back from injury soon. So, yeah, Ake could get pushed out in left back. I still think it's risky. Plus, if you've got Haaland and Cancelo, and you're looking to bring in another Man City slot, I think it's a valuable slot. You don't want to use it up on a potential minutes risk left back. I'd rather want to use that for another Man City player such as De Bruyne, a Foden. I think that spot is quite valuable, so I wouldn't go there. I still think it's too risky personally. Elliot says play Gurhi, Kilman, or Andreas. I'd probably play Gurhi because Gurhi's got Leeds. I mean, Leeds can probably get a goal in that one. Who does Wolves have? Wolves have West Ham.
West Ham, sorry. Yeah.
No, my bad. I'm just going to check who Wolves have. I've not checked. Wolves have Chelsea. No, you don't play Kilman. You play Gurhi or Andreas. But for me, I'd side towards playing Gurhi, especially if Mitrovic is actually injured. So, yeah, that's what I'd be doing. And yeah, any more questions, guys, do drop it in below. We probably are going to wrap the stream up in a bit. But if you haven't and you have been enjoying the content, please do drop a like on this video. Also, share the video if you can on your social media, your Twitter, your Instagram, wherever you're on. Share the video if you can, because that really helps us as well. and your likes and your subscribes also help as well. Also, I've got to quickly plug us on Twitter. If you haven't, guys, do follow us on Twitter at the FPL Duo and join our mini league as well. And all the links are in the description below. But yeah, anything else you'd want to add, Jordan? I'm just going to take this off the screen. Anything else you want to add? We are back again, obviously, on Saturday. But anything else?
For those who watched this video so far and who watch it after the stream, you might have to wait to see on the deadline stream what I do with my team, because obviously I've said I'm rolling the transfer, but that could all change up to the days coming up to the deadline, as with recent injuries from Fofana and Mitrovic, that has shaken up fantasy a bit for those who do have him and other such players. But yeah, you have to tune in on the deadline stream on Saturday, I believe in it.
Yeah, also another thing I was going to say, this deadline is actually later. So you know how it's usually at 11 a.m. deadline? It's different. So deadline is actually at 1:30 UK time. So the deadline stream will be starting at 12:30. We may go a bit earlier at 12 if we'll let you guys know. We might stream a bit early because we'll have the time to. But yeah, it is a 1:30 deadline this week. And also there is a game. So we obviously stream on Sunday as well, don't we? We do the knee jerk on Sunday, but that's going to move as well because Manchester United do play at 7 o'clock on a Sunday, which is strange. So that will end at 9 o'clock, around 9 o'clock. So the knee jerk will be a bit of a late one at 9 p.m. UK time. So just letting everyone know the timing changes of the next two streams. So we will be back again around 12:30. Yeah, around 12:30 on a Saturday for the deadline stream. So do join us on that one. But as always, subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out any time that we go live. And then, yeah, that's it from us, guys. We hope everyone has enjoyed this video. And if you have, please drop a like on the video if you can. And any last comments I've missed? We've got Adam who says, see you at the weekend, guys. Take care. Great team selection and differentials. Thank you, Adam. We always appreciate your support.
Thanks, Adam.
And yep, that's it from the FPL Duo, guys. As always, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys soon, and have a good one. Take care, guys, and see you soon.
Yeah, see you at the weekend, guys. Take care.